Trickle and Flow followers. It is Saturday morning, and we are just hanging out in our baseball caps this morning, and being a little comfy and cozy. We have Jen Scott, who is not only playing a character, one of the lead characters, but is the creator, the writer, the insane genius behind all of this wonderful thing, and the heart, and all the other things. So I'm going to let her do a proper introduction as to her character, first of all, and then we're gonna chat lots about how this is gonna go down. So Jen, take it.
Thank you for that amazing introduction. I promised I wasn't gonna cry, and it's already starting. So I play Riley in the show. My friends call me Riles, and Riles had a bit of a rough teenage year. She lost both of her parents to a car accident. We find out I don't want to give it away. I'm just gonna stop talking there.
Do we need to rewind? Do we need to rewind and like start over?
It's fine. Yeah. So what she goes through going through all those foster homes makes her want to become a police officer so that she can prevent some of these horrible things from happening to other people. And one day when she's out and about doing her police work, she runs into Trickle and Flow, who are on a case. And it's a little bit of an interesting meetup, but you'll see in the show. And from there on, for some reason, she gets put into this position where she's constantly saving their hides. And the chief even makes it her problem even before they get onto the task force. Then it becomes official that she's actually in charge of them because they get into a little bit too much trouble. And as a consequence, to kind of keep them under wraps, they get told that they have to resume their roles as detectives. And Riley gets put in charge of this task force. So now she's officially actually having to be in charge of them.
Yeah, and they are a handful.
They are a handful.
Yes. Couple of troublesome boys there, but that's all right. So where did this come from? Where did this whole concept come from? How did you come up with it? Also, I have to just mention, just because we're talking about like it's a Canadian production. And I totally just heard you're like, I totally heard the Canadian oot and a boot, which I don't normally hear, but I love that because we don't have to get rid of that for this show, which is great. We can just like roll with it. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't get rid of it anyways. I'm like, this is how I talk. Okay, this is how I talk.
I love it.
But yeah, Robin, I don't know if you know Robin, her and I always had like these conversations when we were doing our podcast. Like, yeah, why am I not allowed to talk like Canadian? But yeah, so it is Canadian. So we are doing that Canadian style, and it came about where originally Trickle and Flow was supposed to be like a mystery style concept. Like a big Veronica Mars fan, I wanted to do like a mystery show, but like action is also one of my favorite genres. But like the Trickle and Flow name originally was just supposed to be like a play on words for like crime that's like trickle and flowing through a town. And then I was driving one day and I thought it'd be really neat if the names of the two main characters were actually Trickle and Flow. So I started researching the names, and they're not very common at all. So I'm like, this is really interesting. And I kept researching it and came up with some first names for each of the characters. And from there, it expanded again. I get a lot of ideas when I'm driving. So like the idea expanded again when I was in the car one day. Like, I've always wanted to do like a cop series, like be in one. Like, I'm going to create one. Why not? So it kind of, there is a mystery aspect to it. Like, you'll see that in the pilot with like all like the twists and turns, but it's more so like Lethal Weapon meets like Hawaii Five-O with like a little bit of Veronica Mars thrown in there. So it's turned into like an action buddy cop thing, but we do have that like those interesting twists and turns and mystery aspect of it, which is really cool. And then we have like, there's a ton of comedy.
Yes, there is. The table read, we're just like dying laughing the whole time. So
it's funny, like while you guys I kept getting in trouble because like Taz was like drawing on my script. He was like writing like I am Batman, and then I would start giggling, and like Marcella would be like, you too, you're gonna have to be separated.
And we're not even to set. Great. It might take a little while to shoot then.
Right?
That's awesome. So, okay, so you came up with this concept. You started pulling some people in.
Yeah.
Who did you pull in first? Like, who came along with you?
So I pulled in Johnny and Taz first. They okay. So this is, I'm not trying to insult them, okay? Like in real life,
Okay.
in real life, they are like incredible, amazing human beings, okay? But like from like a visual perspective, they both really suit their roles, okay?
Yes. Yeah,
And
for
like
sure.
they can pull off the personalities of the two cops.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not saying they're Trickle and Flow in real life. I don't want to get
No, I think we should like just edit a little piece out so it says that you are saying that they are just like Trickle and Flow. I think it'd be great. I'm sure they probably would get into some trouble that way in real life anyway. So it's nice that you're trying to like cover this up, but I think we all
right.
acknowledge that, yeah.
They you like okay, so like everyone's personality, so any of the actors in the show, I keep going blurry for some reason. Any of the actors in the show, you will see parts of their personality pulled into their characters because what I've done is I've spoken to all of you what
Yeah.
you'd like to see in your character, and then I've tried to write the characters with your personalities in mind.
Yeah.
So like that's what I meant about that. Like you'll see their
Oh,
personality come through.
sure. So they are Trickle and Flow. So while you're saying they're not, they really are. Got it. Okay. Also, everyone, I'm actually a doctor, so it's kind of a big
Right? No, they are very much not morons. They're two of my favorite people.
I know they are. I'm just messing with you. No, they're lovely, and it one of the things that's come up quite frequently in all of our discussions is
Yeah.
how this came together and how you've brought people in according to who you want to work with,
Hmm.
and who you've met along the way and wanted to collaborate with, which I think is really important in this industry,
Hmm.
and I'm really looking forward to it. But this weekend, we're
Yeah,
doing also some really fun things.
they are.
Are you able to talk a little bit about that?
I can, yeah.
Okay.
So we've been like, okay, so we've been promoting this for since September. So like
Yeah,
almost a
it's been a
year.
while.
And like
Yeah.
we haven't given you guys any video content really at all, except for like from some of our like fun parties.
Parties though.
Yeah, so everyone's finally gonna get a taste of some of these characters. Not all of them, unfortunately, but you'll get a taste of some of them. Trickle, Flow, Riles. You'll get a taste of Peyton here. Sarah Paulson and the two sisters of Trickle and Flow, as well as Flow's interesting flame. And
Yeah.
Chloe's such like an amazing human in real life, and she plays such a bitch in the show.
But that's what makes it fun. It's fun when you
Yeah,
get to play something you're not, right? Oh,
yeah. Oh, you
is
were digitizing.
what is happening? So yeah, so this weekend we're going to be doing some filming. We're going to be able to release some content for everyone to see, a little bit
Yeah,
about us and our characters, and kind of a little insight into what the show's going to be like, which is great.
yeah. And they're really fun skits. So they're specific for social media. So they're not meant to be like a direct representation of the show.
Yeah, it's like
But
cell phone quality we're probably doing.
we're still getting a
I
production
know.
company to come do it,
I
but
know.
it's not like the same level, right?
Yeah.
But they're still gonna look really amazing. And like if you want to use them for their demo reels, they will be able to. But it's gonna give people like an insight into the incredible chemistry between these people because we're all such great friends in real life, it really translates onto the screen. And
Yeah,
it's
Riles is my girl,
BFF.
so my BFF, whether she likes it or not. I'm just gonna like subject myself, like put myself right into all of this. It's fine.
Right?
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And the thing is that we're all from different areas, so when we have these opportunities, we get to come in, we get to get together, you know,
Mm,
play a little and do those things. So,
exactly.
okay, so originally you came in and then you brought in Alan Cool. He came in much later though, right?
He came in much later. Yeah, so I had already cast most of my people before I brought Alan in. I was talking to him about it and he wanted to do it. So he came on for originally just the pilot, but now he's going to be doing the entire series with us, which is really cool. And he's been like such a huge help. And it's so funny because he reminds me of my dad. Like they've got the same personality. And he actually makes that comment all the time that he's like my dad.
Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
really fun working with him. And he's just such a wealth of knowledge because he's got like 60-ish years in the industry,
Yeah,
right? I think that's right.
long time.
Yeah, that can't be right though, because he's just turned 75. Well,
Yeah,
maybe
well,
he's there yet.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
it's
he's
about
starting teenage years. I don't want to like overage him. I'm like, I'm sorry, Alan, if I got that wrong.
Well, no, because you said his actual age, so you're fine. You're covering
Well,
your butt.
he just had a birthday.
I know.
Happy birthday again now. But yeah, he's just such a wealth of knowledge. So it's been really amazing getting to learn from him this whole process and having him on board. And he's, like you said, he's just such a huge help. And now he's coming on with a bunch of other projects that I'm trying to gear up to. So
Yeah, I want to talk about that. You have several, like what, 2024, you have something, 2025, you already have slated something. So
yeah. So we're
talk
looking
about
at
those projects too.
So J Money actually came about before Trickle and Flow, but we decided to do Trickle and Flow first.
Oh,
So
okay.
J Money is going to be like an action film with a little bit of like I'd say like a sci-fi thriller aspect in there because it's like a mind control drug that's giving people enhanced abilities. Sarah's going to digitize again.
What is happening? This is the computer now. Oh, it's got to be the computer then.
We've gone into like the Trickle and Flow alternate universe, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, it's fine. Just keep talking. J Money, J Money. Okay, keep going.
It's because I'm talking about a sci-fi thriller, you know?
Right. Yeah, it's like creeping its way into the computer.
Yeah. So like I'd already talked to some of these people way back, like last year, about these roles. So we're just finally like putting it out there because we were applying for like grants and funding and stuff. It's gonna be incredible again because I get to do action. And Taz is like my partner. So like I get to do action with Taz again, which is awesome. I'm not getting it all. Taz, ignore this. Don't watch this, okay? Like
She's not excited. Don't worry. It's fine. Well, and you've been training for this. Like you've been working out, you've been training, you're getting ready for this role, which is also a good for you.
Yeah. So speaking of that, so like I was training for this. This was it this week? It was this week. I got my kip up back. I don't know if anyone knows what a kip up is. Like when you go back on the floor and then like you get up onto your feet really quickly, like you flip up.
Sounds terrible. Keep going.
I hadn't been able to do it for so long because I had a shoulder and a wrist injury. So like in Jen fashion, she got super excited when she landed this finally again in her dining room. She'd like shoved the table aside and was practicing in her dining room. Anyways, the excitement made me go, let's do this again. Like I finally got it. Like, okay, cool. No. So I went to go do it again. And then in typical me fashion, because people should wrap me in bubble wrap, I nailed my elbow off the couch. I went to flip up and then I literally flopped under my belly. I'm like, I'm dead. Everyone leave me alone.
Yeah, Taz, ignore all of that part because she doesn't want you to really know that she's struggling a little bit. It's okay. Yeah, I don't do any of those things. My knees can't take it. Like I'm like an 80-year-old woman, I swear. I don't, no offense to 80-year-old women, but like my knees don't function properly. So that to me just sounds torturous and terrible. I mean, wait, no, I'm really great. Keep giving me scent work. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. Why am I confessing this to you? I should not be confessing this to you. But seriously, I'm like an old woman. I just,
you know what? You pull that in on Monday to your team.
I'm on my feet all day for 36 hours into the next day, and you know, that's why they're terrible. We'll just roll with that. Oh my gosh. Any other injuries, or is that it?
I mean,
all right, we're just gonna leave it at that.
Not that I want to disclose because I will like be like
you'll be like me where you just confessed. Like
I have a bajillion people that are always like, Jen, are you resting? Jen, are you relaxing? Jen, are you de-stressing right now? Like, Jen, sit down. Jen, stop working. Jen, go to bed.
Well, okay, but I'm gonna.
We don't want to give them more.
I'm gonna take a minute here and like explain why we're all doing this. So you have to understand, Jen doesn't stop. Like, first, I'm not sure what is inside her brain, but she like never, ever, ever stops. She's doing all of this marketing, all the writing, all the editing, this podcast editing, which thank you very much for that. Like how many kids do you have?
Well, they're not really kids anymore. I have 5, but like
5.
4 of them are adults basically.
You're okay. I have a 27-year-old. I'm still like, you're still a parent. Like it's still, guys, she like I don't know how she does it and manages this entire family and these other projects. I have no idea. So um this is why we're always like, are you okay? Like you need to chill out, you need to take a rest, you need to like relax. Um I have such a huge appreciation for you. I really do. Like I have no idea how you do everything you do, and I know you do it with all heart. So it's incredible, is what it is. But anyway, now that we've had our moment,
We're both gonna cry now. Like, honest to
okay.
God, Sarah, I do this because of all of you. Okay. You are also like kind and compassionate and caring and talented and just phenomenal human beings and so supportive. And you guys are always reaching out to help. And I'm gonna cry now.
No, we're
Like,
not.
honestly,
Listen,
I like
Riles and Peyton are having a moment. It's okay.
I sit and I watch the interviews and I see like the stuff in the group, and I'm honestly, guys, I'm sitting here like this, okay, most of the
Oh,
time, because I like I love you guys so much, and I can't even express, like, I honestly can't express the amount of love I feel for this entire group in words.
yeah.
It's this overwhelming feeling of like I would go to bat for any single one of you, like that Jeremy Renner quote, like whose car are we taking, right?
Yeah.
But like
Uh,
it's this group
Trickling
is a
flows.
yeah, so like if you watch this series for no other reason, watch it because all these human beings are just phenomenal from a
Yeah,
human being perspective.
very true.
Like even this week, Chris was like, "Can I help you?" Chai, you, like Taz, Johnny, like Marcella, Alicia, like everyone is just constantly offering to help. Like not because I necessarily asked, because half the time I don't ask. I don't ask. And I get
No,
told I
she
should ask.
doesn't.
And everybody's just like offering help, and I get so overwhelmed with the fact that you guys are doing this from like an emotional perspective. Like it's so sweet and so supportive, and the entire group's that way. It's become such a family experience.
Which I
Like,
think, but again, it's the same way. It goes both ways, right? The reason everybody wants to help out and wants to be part of it is because we all believe in the project. We all believe in one another. We all believe in you, and it's not something we're coming on to as just an actor. It's a project for all of us. It's all of our
yeah,
baby, right? Like we
well, it's
have
super
vested
collaborative, and
interest.
that's how I
Yeah,
wanted it, right? Just like I find the experience to be that much more enjoyable when we get to be collaborative in a team
yeah,
instead of just like stay in your lane,
yeah,
right? Like, please, like, give me input on what you'd like to see in your role. Like, if you want to help with the project in different areas, please come on board. Like, I want everyone to
yeah.
feel like that this is their baby too. Like,
Well,
everyone's
even
always
the
like,
skit that you sent out, right? You sent out a
yeah,
couple of skits that we're gonna do, and
yeah, it's
and
like, give me your
and
input.
she's like, "What do you want? Like, is there anything you want changed? What do you see?" And even I did. I was like, "Hey, can we add this in?" Like, so and that's appreciative because also we've had so much time now to also create those characters that we're
Mm-hmm.
developing on our own who this person is to be able to come back and say, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Which is really great. Um,
Yeah, and that aspect too, where a lot of them are based off of talking to you guys, right? So like I want to continue to get your input because like how would you do this? How would you see this if you were doing this right now,
right.
right? So
Yeah.
from a writer's perspective,
It's
it
okay. You
helps
can cut that out.
it helps me talking to you guys because I want to make sure I'm like representing you guys properly on the screen.
Yeah.
Especially if I've never experienced what you've experienced in real life, if we're pulling in that like an aspect from your real life into the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%, definitely.
Yeah.
Do we have any knowledge, and I don't know if you can share yet or not, but as to where it's going to be shot?
Where it's going to be shot. Sarah's been helping with locations. So I think we're looking at St. Mary's in London right now, with the possibility of Toronto and Hamilton and Kitchener, if necessary. But in order for us to like switch towns, we would have to have like enough locations within that town to make sense to switch there for
Right,
2 days, right?
right,
Yeah, from a budget in like a travel perspective, it doesn't make sense to like shoot one day here and shoot one day there
right.
because
Yeah.
yeah, low budget
So if
pilot.
anyone has any hotel rooms they want to give away for free, this would be the time to call us,
So like
right?
St. Mary's and London have most of the locations that we need to shoot the pilot, so it would make sense to stay that way. And we were even talking about switching like the main headquarters of the show from Toronto to London. Yeah, to coincide with that,
See, I
because
didn't
what
know
we
that.
yeah, because what we want to
Information.
do is we want to make sure that we're actually representing Canadian cities and brands and towns as is. We don't want this like fake thing. And that's a cool aspect of the show, is that when you watch it, you're going to see these actual towns that you've been through as somebody who might live in Ontario, right?
Yeah.
Like that was like a really cool thing for me when I was watching Rookie Blue, is that they actually came to Kitchener. Like, that's my
Yeah.
town. I know where that is.
Yeah. And you can recognize those landmarks, and it
Yeah.
feels, I mean, we don't have that very often, and
No,
I
this
think
is
it's
one of the
really important.
yeah, this is one of the few Canadian series where that'll actually be the case,
Yeah.
right? Because like even in Flashpoint, they never mentioned that they were in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Like that wasn't a thing.
Everybody
Um,
knows, but
yeah,
well, and it's funny because like my husband's from Nova Scotia,
yeah,
and anytime anything shoots out there, if they acknowledge
mm,
it or recognize it, like he's more
mm,
apt to tune into that,
yeah,
because it resonates with him so much more. And that's the
mm,
whole idea here, is that we're
yeah,
supposed to have that feel of like, this is our
mm,
home, this is where we
right?
are, and this is who we are. So
Mm.
I love that part of it. But
Well, we're also
sorry,
doing
go
this
ahead.
Canadian style, and when I say Canadian style, like I feel like sometimes people have like this
Can I say
perspective, like
sorry?
yeah, well, no, it's like I feel like people have this Canadian perspective where like Canadian TV isn't on par with like US TV, and that's not the
I know.
case at all. Like,
No.
there's like so many US productions that film here in Canada. So like I want this series to show what Canada can do.
Yeah.
Okay? That I want this to be the new Canadian TV perspective, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. And I can't wait to see you this weekend. What is it? Two
Yeah.
days? 2 days? No. I don't know what's
We're,
in
we're
between.
on
Tell me.
Saturday.
Two
Yeah,
days.
Sunday we're doing like a quick read through if possible.
Yeah, I feel like I've lost track of my days lately, especially like with the kids home from summer,
Yeah,
and filming and all. I don't know. And my husband's working from home forever now, and so I just don't even
yeah,
know what day it is anymore. In fact, the last day of school, I woke up Riley, like my Riley, I have a Riley, at 8 o'clock, and I was like, "Babe, I'm so sorry to wake you, but like you gotta get up. Last day of school, you got 30 minutes." She's like, "Mom, school ended yesterday," and I was like, "Wait, it did?" Like, oh, wow, happy last day of school. How did I miss that? But my other daughter graduated high school that same night, so I guess
yeah.
I just, for some reason, I thought she was finishing a day before. And anyway, my poor Riley, on her last day, which was not her last day, got woken up at 8 o'clock in the morning on her really
Uh,
first day off. She was not super
I
well.
get it. I can't keep track of my kids' schedules. Like Lexi and Lucas don't even really live with me anymore. They live out in Wellesley because they work out there. Lexi's actually going to be heading out your way.
Oh, yay!
Yeah, and so like Reese lives in my basement. He's my 19-year-old, and Lexi and Lucas don't live with me. They come and visit, and Mackenzie's at her dad's half the time, and then like Tyler's at his dad's half the time. So like this is my kid-free week.
Imagine what your calendar looks like.
I color coded it in
I was gonna
Google.
ask if
Yeah,
it's color
yeah.
coded.
So
That's
like I have
awesome.
like a Reese, Lexi, Lucas, Mackenzie, Tyler calendar, and it's all color coded. Yes.
My goodness. Anyway, see, this is what I'm talking about. She's crazy, like in a very wonderful way, in a wonderful way. Um, we don't have too much time left, but how can people follow Trickle and Flow? How can people follow you and see more of your projects and all of the good stuff that's coming?
Yeah, so like on Instagram, it's underscore Country Girl Productions, or Trickle and Flow. Trickle and Flow is also on TikTok and Threads now. And like,
I didn't even know that part.
yeah, and for me, you can find me at the Real Jen Scott on most platforms. I think there's no the on TikTok though, because you can only have a certain amount of characters. But yeah, we're also on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube if you type in Country Girl Productions or Trickle and Flow. So yeah.
Awesome. And the question that, of course, you consistently are getting is there going to be more casting calls? So I'm just
There
going
is.
to ask it now so that people
There is.
hear.
Yes, there is. We've only really cast the pilot and some additional other talent that's going to be throughout the series. Like we still have all the day player stuff and we still have other roles in like every other episode. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jen, for talking with us and for putting together this amazing project. And I know I keep saying it, but I'm so excited. And Also excited for this weekend. But we will be having more. I have 2 more people that I'm actually talking to today, so you're gonna get to see this baseball cap 3 times. It'll be fine. Maybe I'll change in between just to trick
I
people
can
a
like
little bit.
send you this one. So like at least you're
Yes. What is this one? This one's my my clean earth hat. I love this hat. It's very comfortable. But yes, please. I need a trickle and flow one. Do you look at this coloring change? Like, so okay. Why should everybody be watching Trickle and Flow?
uh that is a very great question, Sarah.
Thank you.
You should watch Trickle and Flow because we have such an amazing cast, and I know you've heard that a bajillion times by now, but they're honestly such phenomenal, supportive, compassionate, kind human beings, besides being insanely talented, and you'll get to see them all shine on the screen. The witty comedy banter back and forth will have you laughing your head off, and the drama and the twists and the turns will have you on the edge of your seat, and you will be on an emotional roller coaster ride pretty much the entire series, but you will love every single minute of it.
And if you're Canadian, you get to enjoy some Canadian content. And if you're not Canadian, you get to maybe learn a little bit about Canada. Because
Yeah,
after living in the States, not a lot of people necessarily know very much
because we're
about
doing this up
Canada.
yeah, we're doing this up Canada style. Yeah,
Yeah.
Canadian style.
So tune in and follow along with all of the wonderful things, and you'll be seeing some fun content soon. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much, Jen.